Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris back here with another simulation. The Friday Night Lights series is back. We've got the 2007 Miami Northwestern Bulls, and we've got the 2007 Booker T Tornadoes. I am very excited to see how this one goes. Both these teams went undefeated, won state championships, and were ranked in the top 5 nationally, with Northwestern winning the national title. But I know both these teams wanted to face each other in this matchup, so let's see how it goes. Plenty of star power for both teams. 12 players from both teams go on to play for the University of Miami. But real quick, if you guys like this series, if you like this game, go ahead and hit the like button. And also, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's a huge help. So here we go. Booker T starting out with the ball. And I definitely want to get to this great Booker T story I have with them going to South Carolina. Let's get to that in the second quarter. But right now, let's talk about what kind of team they had this year. Sancho McDonald starts out the season as a starting quarterback, gets hurt. They go to Torrance Morsi to go win him a state title. But right now we're going with Sancho right here. And Sancho is one of 24 players, actually 25 players that goes on to play Division I football from both of these teams. So plenty of talent. Like I said, 12 went to the University of Miami, but just tons of talent here on both sides of the ball. Starting with Booker T, the big thing that stands out to me with their offense, they've got Devon Johnson, number 2, and Theron Collier, number 3 at wide receiver. They go on to Miami. Also running back Eduardo Clements right there on the catch. Something he was able to do at Booker T in his career, not just carry the ball, but catch the ball as well. He was a sophomore on this team, and he ends up going to Miami as well. And then Brandon Harris, their star player, number 1, played both sides of the ball. Cornerback on defense, and on offense played a little receiver and a little quarterback at times as well. And that's an interception already? Okay, so that's going to come back. That's defensive pass interference. Good play, tough call already. Northwestern's defense, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but what made Northwestern so great was what they had on offense. And we'll get to all that once they get the ball. But right now we're looking at the Booker T offense. In this Booker T program, 2007 was such a big year for the program because it was their first state championship, and it helped set the tone for their program. They've won a total of 6 state titles now since, or total. And once again, this 07 team really was one that helped vault them into having really an elite program in the state, and I think there were so many important factors going into it, and they had a lot of guys, a lot of seniors that they were looking forward to having one of these big, great years. Nice move right there by Clements. A lot of seniors on both sides of the ball, and same way with Northwestern. Just thinking about the Booker T team here. Really overwhelmed teams with their speed on the perimeter with Johnson and Collier. They could get downfield in a hurry. Really solid group of offensive linemen that you see here. And looking at their backs. Once again, Clements was really the lead back, and then they had the receivers, plenty of different guys as well. Other guys. Quentin Dunbar was on this team playing receiver. He was a sophomore as well. But it was really about Johnson and Collier. Ball on the 31-yard line here. Okay, here's Collier. Get the ball out to Collier. Make him miss. And he's in the end zone. Pimp with the first touchdown of the game. Gotta like that. It was something he did quite a bit. Not surprised to see him get in the end zone. Really dynamic receiver. Really good agility. Can make people miss like you see there. Really good in the return game as well, particularly as a punt returner. But yeah, just one of those elite guys with his quickness. Really good strong build, even though he's a shorter guy. But yeah, got in as a nice surprise. Taking a look at some guys on the sideline here. And Booker T just, once again, a lot of explosion, a lot of speed on both sides of the ball. They could really overwhelm teams quite a bit. And Diaz gets the extra point. So that's good for Booker T, looking to pull off this upset. And like, I definitely want to hear your thoughts. If these two teams did face each other, what would have been the outcome? Drop in the comments. Let me know what you think the score would have been. And Northwestern, obviously considered one of the best high school teams in Florida history. But once again, Booker T was 4th in the ESPN, their final poll. So he certainly had a really good team as well. And some, maybe on the matchups, maybe you think Booker T could have pulled off the upset. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Very curious to see what you guys have to say.
The kickoff unit as they run up and send this
Northwestern's going to get the ball here.
This one taken just inside.
And Booker T, it was such a big year for Booker T and their program, but I think the Northwestern program as well. So they win the state title in 2006. They come back in 2007, and they kick it off by playing at South Lake Carroll in Texas. Nearly 32,000 people in the stands, national televised audience. Northwestern preseason #1. And so there was a lot of attention on Northwestern, but they go there, they get the win, they snap a 49-game winning streak. They go on to win all of their games this year, so they run their total to 30 straight wins. So I think it was important for Northwestern, and so they go on and, like I said, they get that second, this group gets their second state title, and then they go ahead and grab 3. Currently, they've got 3. But I think it was big on a number of fronts, not just with their program. And it was a good for that group because they hadn't won in about almost 15, 20 years before they won as juniors. But I think it was such a big thing for South Florida football that they had a lot of attention on them, and they delivered. A lot of big-time players. You're seeing some of them there. But they go ahead and get that big win, and they really put themselves on a national level. And you've seen a lot of South Florida teams do it since then, but it felt like Northwestern really did a good job of being one of those first teams from the area to really vault themselves into that top mix. And for that, I think that they're remembered for being such a historic team because they helped vault a lot of teams in the area, I believe. And there was a lot of things going on in this time with other teams doing well. Pahokee was in a good run with their state championships, Glades Day and Glades Central in that area, in the Palm Beach area, doing well with state titles. In St. Thomas Aquinas, they actually won in 2007 as well, and it was their first state title in about 20 years. So it's such an important year for not just Northwestern and Booker T, but really for South Florida. Because, in Miami Central, they hadn't won one yet. So in 2010, Central wins their first one, and then they go ahead and win 6 in the decade. So I think it really helped. I think Northwestern really had a lot of attention. I think it really helped a lot of other teams with their success as well. Looking at the Bulls, led by quarterback Ja'Cory Harris. You see him here. 49 touchdown passes as a senior, which set a Dade County record. Really led the team, that calm presence. Really knew where to go with the ball. A lot of talent around him, the 3 receivers in particular. Aldarius Johnson, Tommy Streeter, Kendall Tompkins. All 3 go to Miami. Pretty good, solid group of running backs as well. Daquan Hargett goes to West Virginia. Corvin Lamb ends up at Louisville. And then Tyrese Jones, also a good back for them as well. And the offensive linemen, Brandon Washington and Ben Jones, they go on to play at Miami. They played the tackle position for them for this season. And I think that the offense really, again, a lot of talent, and that's where they overwhelm teams, averaged 42 points a game, and many of those points came in the first half. It felt like going to their games, I went to, I think, about 8 for each team. I think that's the number I remember. Felt like I was a beat writer for each team, going to so many games there. But it felt like many of the Northwestern games were over at halftime. They would get up 35-0 at halftime, then they'd go running clock in the second half, and maybe they'd win 42 or 49-7, something like that. But it felt like a lot of their scoring was done in the first half and really knocked teams out of the game. A lot of intimidation there early. I think they brought into games with who they played, but then they went ahead and delivered and really didn't allow many of the teams to really challenge for an upset because they just kind of did a great job of putting teams away. Kind of looking back at that South Lake Carroll game, and you see it right here with the black uniforms. It was such a big deal. They break out the black uniforms, provided by Nike. Shout out to Nike for these things. I think they look great. It was important for me to put these in the game. I had a lot of fun creating these. And also, what was a lot of fun was, at the time, they really decked themselves out with the accessories, the yellow, the Northwestern yellow and the blue, whether it was arm sleeves or the gloves. I think my favorite thing that they did that looked the best was they had a lot of them had the black shoes with the yellow shoelaces. So I wasn't able to get that detail in the game, but I was able to get some black shoes with the yellow, and you guys will see that. So I had to make sure I did that. But so it was just they just definitely made an impact on national TV and really delivered. I think that was, like I said, I think it was great. I think it was very impactful for the community and really put South Florida football on the map on a national level even more. And just looking at the offense, once again, the passing numbers were great by Chakori. The receivers really put up big numbers, and their defense gets 5 shutouts during the season, including the state championship game. They win 41-0 over Orlando Boone there in Orlando, and not a packed crowd, but it was just a lot of people at the game. I remember that, and a lot of their regular season games had a lot of fans as well. A lot of hype with this team, and then once again they delivered in the opener, so a lot of people wanted to see what this team was all about. And with all the attention of the 8 seniors going off playing at Miami, there's plenty of high-level attention on this program. Those 8 were part of the national #1 recruiting class for the Hurricanes, and many of them had to do with those top players at Northwestern. Going to the second quarter here, and I definitely want to get to Booker T as well. Talk about their trip. We'll stick with Northwestern here. The ball's on the 20-yard line. Chakori's looking to get these guys in the end zone, tie the game up.
Here's 2nd and 8. Firing quickly here,
And all 3 of those receivers with Aldarius Johnson, Tommy Streeter, and Kendall Tompkins, all 3 of those guys were highly productive players, and Johnson had the most attention on him as a highly regarded guy and very productive even when he was at Jackson. Just every year he was always putting up big numbers and produced. I remember it just felt like he produced nearly every game, did something that impressed you. And then Streeter, that's 6'5", 200 pounds, so good size, and then he has the speed to get downfield in a hurry. A lot of attention with that. And then Kendall Tompkins was the smaller slot guy, put up big numbers as well. And his numbers were either on par with the other 2 or even better in some cases his senior year. It's a big tackle there. So Booker T's looking to hold Northwestern up, and I think that's the thing. Maybe you're looking at matchups if these 2 faced each other. Booker T's speed on defense, a lot of playmakers, a lot of guys that could get to the quarterback as well. Whether it was Jonathan Jackson or Kimbrel Willis on the ends, maybe Gerald Taylor up the middle, just a lot of guys. So 3rd and 1, ball on the 4. This is a big play for Northwestern. Ball goes out. Oh my goodness, what a nice catch. Tommy Streeter with the touchdown. Huge play there. Once again, that size just too much. Right there in the end zone, that's a big play. And maybe that's what so that's Smith there on in coverage, and maybe that's the matchup you're looking at right there, because you got Brandon Harris on Aldarius Johnson, and while you like some of the corners and the defensive backs that Booker T has, maybe that's the mismatch, and that's that Northwestern has, and that's also something that they were able to do quite a bit, because once again Tompkins was also a highly productive player. They just overwhelmed teams with all 3 of their guys. See a number of guys celebrating here. There's 99. That's Marcus Forston. I see Streeter. I see Jackson there. Collins. So a number of guys right there for Northwestern. And I know both these teams, I remember talking to them throughout the year. Both of them would have loved to have played one another for bragging rights. And obviously, once again, Northwestern had all of that attention. I know Booker T wish they could have gotten a shot at him and felt like they could have made it a game or maybe even pulled off that upset. because once again, they had speed on offense and they had some guys on defense that maybe they could disrupt the things Northwestern was able to do. And both of these teams were so important, just on a personal level. We started Inside the U in 2007. So this year is when we started, and talking about Booker T a little bit. I remember launching the site. I remember buying a camera for the first time. And I remember kind of developing a relationship with Coach Ice Harris there at Booker T, and they were going off to play in South Carolina against Somerville. AJ Green, you guys remember that game maybe? It was also on national TV. Not the hype that the Northwestern game had, but still a lot of attention on that game. And Coach allowed me to ride with the team on the team bus, stay in the team hotel, go to walkthroughs, team dinners, be on the sideline for the game, all that stuff. Plenty of coverage and access. And I filmed like a mini documentary on the game, their experience, a lot of focus on Brandon Harris. But I had a lot of fun doing that, and just kind of looking back, and even with all the maybe the things over the years I've been able to do, experiences and things with being a reporter, doing stuff for Inside the U, I always go back to essentially this first big thing, because even today it would be a big deal being able to have that much access to the team. It was certainly a lot of fun. I think you guys liked it. If you guys remember the video from back then, and shout out to everybody if you guys supported us back then, back in the day when we first started. A lot has changed since then, and it was just certainly a lot of fun, even though it's certainly challenging. We've got to get our name out, the whole thing, everything we went through. But a huge shout out to both programs for helping us along the way. I mentioned Coach Ice Harris, Coach Billy Roll at Northwestern. Just never had any incident, nothing going on, no problems at all with either of these teams, allowing them to cover them. The players were great. Like I said, they're all the time. So practices at the school, everything. And like I said, riding on the team bus with these guys. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. I appreciate it because they were so helpful, and essentially it helped launch Inside the U. So that's one reason why I wanted to do this game for you guys, put this together. And you see right here with the Northwestern uniforms I've been talking about, but I really like Booker T's as well. Kind of a unique look there, unique brand made by Fergo. So I think they did a good job of putting these things together. Once again, different than the Nikes that Northwestern had, but certainly had a coolness factor to them as well. And they go Nike later, they move on to that, but at this time they didn't. There's Aldarius Johnson. But yeah, definitely enjoyed it. I think the thing about that trip that also stands out to me, and just Brandon Harris was really open to doing multiple interviews and the access and getting to know him during that time and over the years. But just all the guys were great, and once again, just really helpful. It was a lot of fun. And then they go in and get that big win. Brandon plays well against AJ Green, so it was certainly a big point for his career. And once again, it really helped vault the Booker T program. And they go ahead and have that 14-0 season, win a state title. And then they just kind of roll from there, really. So looking at Northwestern once again on offense. So Ja'Cory had that really good high school career. Goes to Miami, was a starter there. I know many of you, if you're a Miami fan and you're watching this, you would have liked to have seen more. More wins during the time that the Northwestern and Booker T guys were at Miami. It just didn't work out for different reasons, but it was certainly a lot of fun. And many of these guys, I think, depending on how their careers went at Miami, I still think at this time, when they were in high school, they were definitely legit prospects. I think maybe people look at the Northwestern 8 players going because it's so unheard of. But if you go by position, you really look at it, you understand why Miami was interested in them, and many other schools as well. But there were certainly guys that didn't play at Miami that went on to. So there's Kendall Tompkins. Speaking of a guy that was productive, so Kendall was not a highly regarded guy in high school, but you see him here on this. That's a huge catch. It looked like about 40 yards, but Kendall was a highly productive player, and he really liked Miami, and you just understood why he ended up at Miami. Just once again, that productive player, good speed, could catch the ball, make plays, kind of had a breakout senior year, and once again, just a really good connection with those guys as well. That's the thing, that it's not a surprise to see a guy like Kendall do well in this game, because that's what they did. They just had multiple guys that could make plays. And Jacory did such a good job of really distributing the ball where it needed to go, and really efficient player. Didn't have very many interceptions, even though he threw the ball a lot. And I think what Jacory did, not just with the Northwestern program, things they were able to do in terms of their impact in the community and the area and things like that, but I think what Jacory did as a quarterback for future South Florida quarterbacks was really beneficial, because at the time there was not a lot of guys coming out of South Florida who had played quarterback, either done well and then got opportunities in college. It just was not a lot. So when Jacory did it, it was a huge deal. A lot of guys came after him. You know, Jeff Godfrey had a huge high school career. He goes on and plays quarterback in college. You know, Rakeem Cato had a monster college career. I think another guy, or a guy that you certainly look to now, you know, Teddy Bridgewater. So Teddy was a freshman at Northwestern during this time, but he was not on this team. He was actually played on there. He still played Optimus ball that year. And then in the spring of that school year, he goes ahead and joins the team. And I remember being at his first practice at Northwestern. I remember it being such a different look, because all of these big names that you guys all knew, they were all gone. So it was a bunch of their new guys like Teddy looking to establish themselves. So Northwestern unable to take advantage here. So this was a fast half. Both teams get a touchdown. Looks like that's how we're going to go into the break. Might be the last play. So Booker T's going to get the ball again here. Taking a look at Sean Spence, number 31, just a monster player for the Bulls defense. At linebacker, Quavon Taylor, number 30, played in the middle. And then Levante David, a guy that didn't go to Miami. And he's had the best NFL career out of anybody in this game. And he was not a highly regarded player. Played outside linebacker for the Bulls at the time. Played a little bit of a rush end spot. But he goes ahead and goes to Fort Scott, JUCO in Kansas, and then on to Nebraska. Has a really good career at Nebraska. You see him there, 45. And then he goes on to be a second-round pick by Tampa Bay and has a really good career. And that was what was so fun about this team. They had so many guys on their team. Like I said, with the 25 guys from both teams going on to play college ball. You know, FIU was a team that got a lot of players as well. The Miami got 12, but 7 ended up at FIU. Sometimes it gets a little overlooked, but certainly local school benefited there as well. So 7-7 here, Northwestern and Booker T at halftime. Once again, I want to know in your comments, let me know what you think. Also, let me know about the Northwestern team. Maybe some of you guys saw them, and maybe it's the best you've seen. Like I said, many people feel it was. Personally, to me, they are. They're the best team I've seen in person over the years. And just, once again, that offensive explosion was really tough to handle. Really good quarterback. And then a lot of playmakers on defense. Really made it tough on teams. And I think, too, just kind of thinking about their size, it's just hard to match, particularly at the wideout position. They just did a really good job of overwhelming teams and not letting teams in the game. So Aldarius and Streeter, they go on to Miami. You know, Aldarius He was just a monster at Northwestern. So here we go. We got Northwestern. Got the ball again. They're looking to. They definitely want to stretch this thing out. They don't want to keep this. They don't want to get upset. They don't want to keep Booker T in the game here. And just a real quick, just a big shout out to everybody, not just the players and the coaches that have helped, but just other people that have helped put this thing together as well. And real quick shout out to Larry Bluestein for helping track down these rosters from this team. From both of these teams. It's hard to find information. Even though it's not that long ago, it's still in a way that it is. And just trying to track down information on these guys, because I wanted to make this as accurate as possible.
I got kicked out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations.
There's Tarvis Pullins on the tackle. Once again, one of the multiple productive players for the defense for Booker T. You know, Winston Frazier was there. Kimbrell Willis, Jonathan Jackson. You know, Nat Turner Harris. They had some other guys. You know, Smith and Cardi was there as well. Gerald Taylor up front. So they just had multiple guys that could make plays. Franklin Brown as well. The speed and one thing that the Booker T defense was able to do, they really did a good job of getting to the quarterback. A lot of speed on the ends, just overwhelmed teams and put the pressure on the quarterbacks. And I think that would have been an interesting matchup in this game if they could have gotten to Jacory and really disrupted the passing game.
He's got the only touchdown that they've scored in this game. Tried to get it to him again.
And like I said, the matchup with Brandon Harris on Aldarius, or maybe they would have switched him on Tommy, be able to move him around a little bit. He also played a little bit of a safety spot a little bit at times, depending on formations they wanted to run. This is Brandon Harris right there, number 1. Getting that tackle on Hargret, but not before they get a first down. That's huge. If they could have got a stop there, I think that definitely would have helped.
It would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up.
And just kind of looking at Hargret and Lamb and Jones, those were running backs that were just really good pieces for the offense. Corvin Lamb certainly had a lot of speed at the time, and Hargret was productive, so they did a good job of really complementing the passing game and going to them when they needed to. One of the things that I remember about Jacory at the time, the highly productive stuff and being a leader, I remember a coach from another team, not Miami, during the recruiting process, really heard a story about how impressive Jacory was with being able to recognize offenses, drawing plays on the board and things like that. Just being able to really have a firm grasp, which isn't a surprise because of how good Jacory was. It's not just throw the ball to these guys on the outside. Jacory really understood how to break down a defense and where to go with the ball. He had a really good understanding, which led to his production. Looking for a touchdown here. Late in the third quarter, ball inside the 10.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal.
So it's going to be interesting. So it's going to be second down and goal from the 8. You definitely, maybe they'll run it again, but this might be time to throw it in the end zone. Maybe challenge Brandon Harris and go to Aldarius. Maybe look for Streeter again. Really curious to see what's going to happen here. Out motion. Oh, that's gonna be a delay of game. That's gonna be huge because now what do? You got second and goal from the 13. Jacory's gonna have to regroup.
Still second down.
And Jacory is not happy. Brandon Washington right there. That's his left tackle looking to calm him down a little bit. Get a look at the black and gold shoes many of the guys are wearing. Yeah, those black with the gold laces were legit. Okay, so second and goal. Here we go. So Harker gets the run up the middle. So they're kind of back where they started. So the ball's on the 6 now. Third goal. You got to figure that they're going to be looking to throw into the end zone. I remember Aldarius did such a good job of keeping his feet in bounds when he was playing for the Bulls. Like really good job of body control and really good hands, nicknamed glue hands. So certainly he would be an option here. So fourth quarter, everybody's got their 4 fingers up for this one. Very excited to see how this ends up. I think both teams have a shot here, but Booker T is going to have to get a stop. Definitely cannot allow a touchdown. Shotgun. Oh my goodness. A touchdown by Tommy Streeter once again, having a monster game, and the salute to top it off. Just too much size. Makes that cut over the middle. Yeah, and I think that's the thing with those matchups. That's the thing you're looking at. Maybe, like I said, with Brandon being able to go against Aldarius, it kind of frees up Streeter a little bit. Looking at the defense here. So Von Taylor and Jackson. There's Forston. They're going to need a stop to keep Booker T from putting together a drive, but that's a good play by Jacory and the Bulls there.
And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game.
And just remembering about Streeter, like there was a lot of attention on him as a recruit because he was one of the guys that wasn't committed as early as the other guys. So a lot of people wanted him to join his teammates at Miami, and he went through the recruiting process. So there was a lot of attention on what is he going to do, and then eventually he goes ahead and picks Miami. But these guys certainly had a lot of attention all year long, and looking back on the Hurricane season, really down that year. So a lot of attention was on what will this class do, this number 1 ranked recruiting class. What will these Northwestern players, the Booker T players, be able to do? What kind of impact will they make at Miami? It felt like with everything that was going on with the attention Northwestern was having during the season, it felt like that many Miami fans were watching them with their own team struggling. So like I said, plenty of attention on these guys.
Now ready to take the field.
So here we go. We got Booker T here looking for a drive. They're going to need a touchdown, obviously. They're going to need to put something together. Have not scored since that opening one. Oh, we got to catch the ball.
Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
It's a tough drop. So looking at Booker T's receivers, so they had Johnson and Collier. Brandon Harris played there as well. Quentin Dunbar played there. And also Benedict Hippolyte, who ended up having a high school coaching career and then ends up at Miami, where he's at now as a coach. And just looking at the receivers, they had other guys too. Andre Edwards was there. Diedrich Dukes was a freshman at the time. Plenty of speed, so there was a lot of attention on him. A lot of talent at that position. And Clements handled the bulk of the load at running back, but Martindale and Williams were there as well. Screen pass to Clements, and that was something that Eduardo did quite a bit throughout his career at Booker T, was catch the ball. And coming from that spread offense, he did a good job catching the ball, and once again, one of those guys ends up at UM. So it's going to be 4th and long for Booker T. That looks like they're going to have to punt because there's still plenty of time left, so they're going to need to rely on their defense a little bit.
The Bengals bring out their punter now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well.
It's a huge punt there. That's Oscar Diaz on the punt. Handle their kicking duties. So here we go. I'm looking forward to seeing the Booker T defense here. They're going to need a turnover, really disrupt things. But look, Jacory's 17 to 21, really efficient, hard to get to him. And that was something he did a good job at, was the high completion percentage, the low interception numbers, with plenty of touchdowns. It feels like all three of the receivers, I'm pretty sure, were double figures in touchdown catches that year, which makes sense if Jacory had 49.
No adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism...
We just want to thank everybody for watching this, showing your interest. Like I said, hitting that like button, subscribing, it's a huge help. Let me know in the comments, too, if there's other matchups, other teams you'd like to see. I've got some other ones in the works. I've got some ideas in mind. I like doing the current teams as well. So definitely let me know if there's something you'd like to see, if there's some uniforms you'd like to see as well. Because that's one of the things that's fun about doing this, is kind of creating those unique uniforms. In both of these teams, there's no doubt, not only was the big-time talent and all of the wins and the impact they had on the program, their respective programs, but also these uniforms were pretty unique as well. And even though it's been some time, I think both of these hold up today. I think both of these would still look good now. So, which you can't say that all the time. Sometimes the older jerseys are a little outdated, but I like both of these still.
Now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for second down if they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up. That'd be the time to do it.
Streeter just having a big game. Booker T's down, so we got 3 minutes left. Booker T definitely needs a defensive stop. They're going to need a turnover. They're going to need something. Definitely cannot allow another score. That's a good play there. It's 32. That's Winston Frazier. Keenan Frazier's there as well, but they've got multiple guys. Franklin Brown, like I mentioned. See Tarvis Pullins. They got all kinds of guys there.
They can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Now Harris.
2nd and 7. Oh my goodness, that's such a huge play by Jacory. His first run of the game is a huge one. Oh, that's what Booker T didn't want. They definitely needed to get to him right there, because it would have been a 3rd and long, and it felt like you could have forced a punt. But now, ball's on the 22-yard line. First down, clock's ticking down. That's a huge play by Jacory. Not surprising. They were out in front of a lot of teams, even that, like I said, that state championship game with the blowout. But they did have tight games at times, and Jacory did a good job of handling them. The Deerfield Beach game is the one that stands out, with the big long drive there to keep the season alive. So here we go. Ball on the 22. Receiver in motion. And both of these teams ran a spread offense. Like I said, they implemented their run game, but really they like to go shotgun, get the ball out on the perimeter, go deep on guys. You know, get multiple receivers out there. That was the basis of the offense. And sometimes with these simulations, it's hard to replicate that, but it is what it is. Sometimes it gives you a look at some different guys. Okay, so Booker T is still hanging in here.
That one looks like he'll throw here.
Oh my goodness. Tommy Streeter once again. Jacory's had a really big game, but Streeter, man, if you're looking at a player of the game, if this score holds up, you got to give it to Streeter. Just the big plays. But either way, both of those guys have played well. But man, that's such a huge play because even a field goal at this time doesn't do Booker T any good. You got to figure out a way to get a stop or force a turnover, really. Stay in this game. Oh my goodness. Corey with a nice rollout and another touchdown catch. Oh my goodness. So that's Kenneth Dillard. He's a reserve linebacker. So they flip him to offense here. And sometimes that's what happens too with these simulations where there's not a lot of tight ends in the game, and so they must have flipped him over to put him at tight end. It happens. But that's cool for Kenneth. He gets in there, gets a touchdown. Guys are celebrating. So that's going to wrap it up, I'm sure, for Northwestern, unless something crazy happens. But they're avoiding the upset. And maybe that's what would have happened in real life, too. Like if, Booker T shows the flashes with the ability to get the long touchdown, but then, Northwestern just keeps putting drives together and pulls away. 80-yard drive. See Corey 4 for 4 on the drive. Got a couple catches to Streeter there. That was big. Yeah, hopefully you guys like this. Once again, let me know in the comments future ones that you want to see. And also in the comments, like what you think would have happened if these two teams faced each other.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one
Devon
away.
Johnson. Back to return. Number 2 there.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So now the Bengals down on the scoreboard. A minute 39.
So just a couple minutes left here. Booker T looking to finish this thing off with a touchdown. Cut into the deficit here.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
So here we go. We got the receivers spread out.
Operating from the gun. McDonald.
Oh my goodness. Marcus Forston with the huge sack right there. Big play late in the game, and Forston was certainly a big force. He was arguably the most highly regarded recruit that Northwestern had this season. There at defensive tackle. Not surprised to see him make a big play. He was really tough up the middle. Sean Spence made a lot of plays on defense. Taylor had a lot of tackles. Spence in on that one. But just, with Forston and then Todd Chandler, who was a sophomore at the time, both of those two guys up the middle really did a lot of damage, even though all the attention seemingly was on the offense. Certainly the Bulls' defense was pretty good, too. You had guys in the back, Tevin McCaskill. You saw Steve Gallen. They had Kimbrell McGee, was a young player. So just multiple guys that could make plays. That's a big play. That's a good catch by Devon. Not surprising. That was kind of his thing. He can make big plays downfield with his speed.
Throwing on 1st down. McDonald. And that will be
incomplete pass there. So just 18 seconds left. This one felt like it went fast. I cannot believe it, but hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully everyone shows their support by hitting the like button. That's always a huge help. Okay, so just a couple more plays. I'd like to see Booker T get in the end zone here.
Tighter coverage. Take a chance and go and try and step in front of one of those and make a big play. So if you're the quarterback, that should be in your head.
Oh, it's a big pass play. Did he get it? Oh, he didn't get it, but man, that's the one heck of, that was in traffic and everything. That's Brandon Harris, number 1. Like I said, he's flipping both sides of the ball. Booker T certainly did a good job of staying the course when McDonald went down with an injury. And Torrance certainly did a good job of keeping things on track, so shout out to him.
McDonald.
Okay, he's got to get rid of this. Oh my goodness.
Get there this time.
Got to get rid of it. So 4 seconds left, 4th and 20. I thought maybe they'd be able to get in the end zone.
Sure of the point of this, but
They're going to have to
there's
throw a
still
deep
4
pass
seconds to
here.
go in the game.
Own 43. Wrap this thing up here. Maybe some of you are looking for those respect hats on the sideline, but I couldn't get those in the game, but still, I certainly remember them. Okay, so big throw. Let's see how it goes. Oh my goodness, look at this arm. Okay, nobody caught it, but man, what a game. 21-7, shout out to Northwestern Bulls. They get the win. I know Booker T's a little disappointed that they couldn't pull off the upset, but hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Enjoyed watching it. We'll keep this thing going, but thanks again for tuning into this one. Shout out to all these players that really stake their claim in history for these programs, for these communities, for not only being state champions, but being one of the best of their program's history. So that's great to see. Some big plays here. Looking at the highlights, at Streeter's first touchdown catch there from Ja'Cory, and then Theron Collier gets the first touchdown of the game. Certainly great to see these two teams in action, and not surprised with the score because you see Northwestern more passing yards, more rushing yards, really just kind of pulled away from Booker T once they got it going there after the first quarter. You see Spence there, 31, and Ja'Cory. Shout out to everybody. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. For all your coverage of the Miami Hurricanes and high school football, visit InsideTheU.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at InsideTheU. Thanks again, and take care.